Sat Nam, my dear sisters. My name is Siri Shakti. Some of you may have seen me on my blogs and followed some of my teachings over the past few years with gurushakti.com and a few of my other ones that are all here to help women and educate women to live at the highest in their life and really embrace their true power as a woman in this modern world that we live in. Today, I want to talk a little bit about tying a turban, the whole understanding of why it is that we wear turbans to begin with. And I'm going to explain to you how to wrap a turban in my personal favorite way that I wear it every day in my life. 5 years ago, I was introduced to Kundalini Yoga, and there began my journey of being a yogini and really dedicating my life to the Kundalini Yoga lifestyle. And around the same time that I started practicing Kundalini Yoga, I began to meet some different women. And the thing that struck me about these women is that they seemed so confident. They seemed so at peace with who they were. These women didn't have any need to show themselves off or to wear lots of makeup and show off their bodies provocatively, because inside they felt so good about themselves that they just resonated this beauty and this purity. And of course, being where I was at in my life, I yearned so much to understand what these women understood in their own lives. And I really wanted to start to practice the things that they were doing so that I could start to feel the way that I knew that they were feeling. Now, don't get me wrong, 5 years ago, I could have never imagined myself wearing a turban. I mean, even the thought of wearing a turban just seemed so silly to me that it was not even something in my imagination. But as I began to teach or to learn the lessons that these women were teaching and living their lives by, I began to see that there was a whole science behind wearing a turban on their head, that there was an understanding on a very emotional and cosmic level. And this is what I want to share with you today so that you can understand this. One of the amazing things about wearing a turban on your head is that in our body we have different chakras, and our chakras are points of energy that when blocked can really disturb your life in different ways. But when they are balanced, we live so fluently, so openly, and very centered in our lives. Now, the Crown Chakra, which resonates on the top of your head, when you wear a turban and you wrap it very snug around your skull, it really helps to protect that crown chakra. And this is really where the divine energy comes through you. So it's a very important part of your body. Now, I didn't start off by just wrapping a full turban to begin with. I mean, that was quite a few steps ahead of me. But how I first started out was I would take beautiful pieces of fabric like little shawls or scarves, and I would practice by just wrapping them around my hair. At this time I would usually wear my hair down and just wrap it a little bit around my head and tie it really cute and pretty. And this is really what started to plant the seeds for me, that I started to see that there was a real physical, tangible difference of how I felt physically. On the days that I would not wear anything around my head, I felt like, maybe not as centered, not as confident in myself and really knowing what it is that I wanted. And on the days that I would wrap my head with any sort of wrap, it was as if I was stepping into a new role in my life. I was holding myself to a different standard of what it is that I really wanted. Really embracing that part of me was that wise woman, that yogini, or Kundalini yogini in my life. And I've seen it with many other women as well, as they started to practice wearing a head wrap or some sort of turban. It immediately brings you up to a whole new standard, and it helps you to be so much more courageous in your life as well. I mean, just think about it right now. If you were to wrap your head in a turban at this moment and step outside, that takes a whole lot of courage. It's not the the norm to go out as an American Western woman wearing a turban around your head. So that courage is something that starts to really open you up and help you to feel so sure of yourself. What began to happen for me is that even though I was so nervous as I started to tie these turbans and I would walk out into my life like this, I was so nervous to do so because people were used to seeing me a certain way, dressing a certain way, wearing certain makeup, straightening my hair, dressing a little more provocatively. And all of a sudden I put that to a halt and I decided to dress more fluently, wear a lot of white, shawls, a turban, just more divine. I felt almost like a goddess in my life. And although, like I said, I was nervous, that nervousness became so much more comfortable. So with that in mind, today I'm going to show you my favorite way to tie a turban. Now, over the years, I've tried a few different ways. When I first started out, I used to wear more of a traditional Indian turban, and that was beautiful. And for those of you that wear that, it is a wonderful way to tie it. But I started to notice that that wasn't really what I wanted for myself, and I needed to find a way that made me feel so confident and lovely. So I went on my search to find a way to tie it. Now, I searched on YouTube and I didn't have much luck at first until I found this lovely lady. Her name is Ram Rankar. She's a very beautiful teacher. And she had a video that taught you how to tie a turban. She says that it was a combination between more of an Indian and kind of an African way of tying it. And she combined them both to come up with something really beautiful. So I started to adopt that way of tying it. And over the years, I've kind of adapted into, making little changes here or there, and also adding little accessories along the way as well. And now I'm going to show you how to do it also. Okay, so I'm going to get started. Now, first of all, I'm going to show you the kinds of fabrics that you're going to want to use. Now, this is really up for, any changes. I mean, whatever fabrics make you feel more of a woman, more yummy and beautiful, those are the fabrics that you're going to want to gravitate to. But natural fibers are really important because they really just open up your body and, it's better for you as well. So let's get started. Okay, first of all, you're going to want to find some sort of big square piece of fabric. You can go to the fabric store and just get a nice size square piece of fabric. It's about 2 feet by 2 feet. And I've had this for a while, so I just so happen to use this. It's a very nice lightweight fabric, and it's so soft and nice. And what you're going to be doing with this is after I put my hair up, you're going to go ahead and do some folding and wrap it around your bun to fill in your bun and make it a lot fuller. So first of all though, I'm going to start by tying up my hair. Now, for you women that have shorter hair, it might be a little bit more challenging to make a bun. So you're just going to want to put your hair up in some sort of ponytail, and then you can fill it in with the extra fabric I'm going to show you. For those of you that have long hair like me, it's a little bit easier to make a nice full bun. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using some bobby pins like these, which you can get at any local drugstore or Target or any grocery store. Really, they're all going to carry these, and I'm sure you're familiar with them. Okay, so I'm going to start by taking my hair and I'm going to put it up nice and high. Okay, see, like this. I'm not going to put it all the way on the top, but just a little bit like the middle of my head. And for me, what I do is I twist it. Twist, and I do kind of a wrapping. Actually, I'll turn around. See, I'm kind of twisting and wrapping, and you'll be left with this little piece, and I usually just take it, kind of tuck it, and then use my bobby pins. I'm going to put them all around, and I'll just do this quickly, a quick version, so you don't have to wait for me to do many pins in my hair. Take a while, but just to get the idea. Okay, see, a nice full bun. Okay, but what I'm going to want to do is I want to fill it in more, because that's going to make the turban look really nice. So now I grab my square piece of fabric, see, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to fold it in half, like so, and then I'm going to fold that in half one more time. See, makes a long rectangle. Okay, now this is how I'm going to fill it in. Okay, I'm going to place it over my bun like this, and in back I'm going to crisscross it and wrap one side around, kind of pull it snug and wrap this around. And with this piece, you're going to tuck it under the rest, and that makes sure it stays nice and firm. It's not going to move. Okay, see how much that filled in my bun? It's so much bigger now. It's going to make it look really nice. Now, just a little note to you. As I'm doing this, don't feel overwhelmed, okay? Because this is a new skill for you. I mean, you should have seen when I first started, it looked really silly. It was kind of lopsided. You know, it took so much practice. So just take your time and it will come to you, I promise, okay? I mean, I've been doing this for 5 years now, so I can do it pretty fast, okay? All right, I'm gonna take my next piece of fabric. Okay, now, with this type of turban, I'm going to be using 2 different fabrics, okay? This is just the underlying fabric I'm going to use to fill in even more. And then whatever your top fabric is going to go on last, of course. And I decided to choose this beautiful kind of brown, red, and some purples in there, some greens. Yeah, so this really lovely piece of fabric. Okay, and actually this isn't just a piece of fabric. What this is a long shawl. See? Okay, and many women ask me, you know, I've been even stopped on the street and women ask me, oh gosh, what a beautiful fabric. Where did you get that shawl or, you know, that scarf? And it's so funny because I get most of them at Marshall's or TJ Maxx, you know, even Target. They usually have some really beautiful ones, so I'm always buying them up. Okay, my first one, this. I'm going to find the middle part, perfectly in the middle. Okay, just to show you. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to drape it over my head. And make sure this bottom part comes down pretty far, because you can always push it back up, but if you have it too far up, you can't, it's hard to pull it down once it's already in place. Okay, now I'll turn around. See? Okay, now I'm going to gather all the fabric into my hands and crisscross again. Okay, and sometimes, I mean, if you want to make it a little more snug, you can always crisscross it one more time. Kind of helps it stay in better. Okay, all right, now you're going to start with one side and you're going to wrap it around. Now, usually I kind of hold it with my teeth because it just makes it easier, but since I'm talking to you, I'm going to hold it with my chin. Okay. take one side and I'm going to wrap it around my bun. And then these last little parts right here, you're just going to tuck in. Like that. Okay. And then you take this side, these pieces, and wrap it around again. Okay, and bear with me. I usually use a mirror, so not using a mirror, I'm just kind of hoping it's turning out right. Okay. Okay, so now it's far down on my forehead and it's over my ears. Usually what I like to do with this one is I'll push it up and put this behind my ears. Like this. Okay, so not all the way up to my hairline, but almost. Okay, so that's my underlying part. Okay, now I'm going to take the top fabric. Now keep in mind that being a woman, it's important that you feel really good about what it is that you're wearing, and understand as well that clothing is a projection of who you are. And not only that, but it's almost like your skin, because it's what you're wearing on the outside. It's what people see you in, and it expresses how you feel about yourself. So when you're buying up fabrics, really make sure that it's a fabric that you really resonate with, that when you spot it on the shelf, that it almost calls to you and you know that that's something that you'd feel lovely in. So this is the one that was calling to me today. So I'm going to do the exact same thing when I wrap this. Okay, find the middle. See? And what I like to do, you don't have to do this, but I actually like to just fold this top part over a little bit, kind of makes it a softer edge. Okay, show me do that again, like that. And again, drape it over. Okay, over the ears, and gather it up in your hands. I always just crisscross this one time. Okay, nice and snug. Okay, let me show you. Okay, now tuck this under your chin or hold it with your teeth, either way. In fact, I'll just hold it with my teeth this time so you can see exactly how I do it. And wrap it around. And now I'm tucking all these little pieces in. Okay, hope that looks okay. All right, and my last piece. And there's one little trick I wanted to show you that I forgot to address. When you're using shawls like this, you usually have all this fringe at the bottom. And it, like you saw right now, it made it a little bit difficult to tuck in because I want to make sure that none of them are hanging out. See all that right there? So what I usually do before I wrap it is I I find the longer part and I twist all of this other fringe like this. I twist it into this part so there's only a little bit of fringe hanging out. Okay, and now it makes it easier when I wrap it. And now I'm tucking it in. So it's making it a lot easier. There's less fringe to tuck in. All right. Okay. And then usually, because some people like to have it further down on their forehead, but I kind of like it up a little bit, but I still like it over my ears. So I'll just kind of tuck a little bit in. See? Voila. So I'll kind of turn around. And this is my favorite way to wrap a turban. See? Okay, great. And there's other things that you can do to it as well. I've even gone to the fabric store and gotten different little accessories. You can accessorize your turban. Sounds funny. I've gotten little feathers that I kind of stick right here that come down kind of near my ear. I've seen some women put, like, if they're wearing a white turban and they're going somewhere fancy, they've put little pearls along the top part and kind of tuck them in. So it's just, you know, there's so many different things that you can do. You could put a flower there and, you know, again, like I said, whatever it is that makes you feel beautiful. So my whole point of sharing this for you is that, you know, there's been many times over the past few years that I've been stopped. I mean, I've been walking along the street, like I said, and there's been women that have just stopped me and said, oh my gosh, how do you tie that? It's so beautiful. And you know, giving them a 2-minute explanation doesn't really do it justice. So I felt like this video could be a great tool to help educate and just you know, give a little insight in how it is that I wrap and other women wrap their turbans, because there's so many beautiful ways. So I hope this has helped. If you have any questions, please feel free to post them, and I'd love it if you'd visit my blog and my other sites and you know, just post any questions or comments that you may have. And it's really my purpose to serve and to help other women. And you know, I know what it's like to be a mother and a woman in this modern world. It's not always easy, you know, and I think we really need to support each other and have each other's back. So this is my way of giving back and doing that. So Sat Nam, thank you so much for visiting, and lots of love to all of you. Bye.